Hi everyone, my name is Suzanne and I'm a Chinese metaphysics master in Hong Kong. Today I'm going to continue my series on Sun Tzu's Art of War and we are going to look specifically at stratagem number 26. Now, Sun Tzu's Art of War was written long time ago, and at that time it was written for the purpose of helping the emperor conquer an enemy on the battlefield in actual warfare. Now, we are not doing that. We are not going to pick up arms in a battlefield. But as business owners, or even if you are in a corporate environment that is very competitive, there are always opponents, there's always competitors we need to overcome or uh, be better than them. Yeah, so this is why we still use Sun Tzu's Art of War in an economic context, in a business context, to actually achieve our ideal outcome by beating out the competition. Now, Sun Tzu's Art of War talks about 36 stratagems or strategies, as we call them today. And a very little known fact about these 36 stratagems is that they actually relate very much to your Bazi astrology chart. So depending on what the context of your chart is, what the structure of your chart is, you may use some of the strategies more easily than others because you resonate with them more or you have more affinity with them, while there are some strategies that are just absolutely not something that you would ever try, ever do. They just don't feel right. So this is what we can check with your Bazi chart, what it is that you can actually do that gets you the best result, and it is really, really easy and effortless for you to implement. So having a look at your Bazi chart obviously first requires that you need to plot your Bazi chart. The link is here on the screen, but I'm also putting it in the notes to this video. So just go ahead and plot your chart. Now, as always, it is better if you know your time of birth as well, but if you don't, then don't panic. You can still do this exercise. Don't worry too much. So once you have plotted your chart, what we are actually looking at is this part here. This is what we call the earthly branches. Now, this person here is born in a tiger year, in a rooster month, on a pig day, and in a horse hour. So this person actually has 4 different animal signs in their chart. You may also have 4 completely different ones, or you may have certain animal signs that repeat themselves, and that's absolutely normal. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with your chart. That is just the way it is. Just take note of what animal signs that you have there in your chart, because these determine which particular strategy you resonate with most. Now, as mentioned, today we're going to look at strategy number 26. And this strategy is called Point at the Mulberry Bush, but Curse the Locust Tree. Yeah, so in this particular strategy, we are actually deflecting blame, or we're making an example of someone else or something else to get to our desired outcome. Now, this particular strategy works best for those who have the pig, the rabbit, and or the goat in the chart. Now, usually, the strategies include 2 animal signs. This one has 3. So you need to have at least 2 out of those 3 in your chart. So you may have 1 pig and 1 rabbit, or you may have a goat and a pig in your chart. So you need to have at least 2 out of 3 in your chart. If you have all 3, even better, because then you really, really resonate with this particular strategy. All right, so pig, rabbit, or goat. If you only have one of them, the affinity with this particular strategy is really, really low. And so while you may be able to try it, it may not come effortlessly, and it's not necessarily something that you really, really resonate with. So at least 2 out of those 3. Now, what this strategy actually means is, again, you deflect blame, or you kind of make an example out of someone. So there's 2 ways to implement or execute this particular strategy. So one of them is to, let's say, if we are making an example of someone, this happens a lot in the judicial system. So let's say you want to you want to make sure that people really understand that a particular policy or whatever, or a particular law is extremely serious. So you make an example out of someone. So one person gets punished very, very severely to scare all the others and ensure that they get the message. Now, this is not a very nice way of executing this particular strategy, but every now and then it is necessary to do that. So it's also sometimes used, obviously, in a corporate environment where one person who really violated corporate rules is being punished really severely so that all other employees just get the message, right? So this is one way of employing this particular strategy. Now, the other one is the way we are usually using this in a business context. And this is when you are, let's say you're developing your advertising message and you have a product that is more or less the same than the competitors, or just has slight differences than the one of your competition. What you do is you put out a message, you put out an advertisement that talks about all the bad things, all the bad aspects of your competition's product without actually naming the competitor. Yeah, so you may even use your competitor's advertising message and say, well, one of our competitors claims that their product does XYZ, but actually these are the flaws, and this is how our product solves this. Now, the way you phrase this needs to make sure that everybody who's listening to your message knows exactly who you are talking about, which is the competitor, who is the competitor you're calling out, without actually naming names. Yeah, so this is a very, very indirect approach of creating a conflict. If you don't name names, you can't really, you always have plausible deniability. And so this is very, very often used in advertisement these days. And this is something that you may be able to use in your business as well. Yeah, so on the one hand, making an example of someone or something, or on the other hand, you use this in an advertising or marketing message where you call out the competition without actually naming their names. So this is what it means by point at the mulberry tree or the mulberry bush while scolding the locust tree. So I hope you've learned something. I hope you can actually use this in your business, in your career. And if you do have any comments, any questions, please leave them in the notes below, or email me directly. My email address is in the notes to this video, and I would really appreciate it if you liked the video, shared it, subscribe to my channel, and just get the word out. See you soon.